Right, so this video is about Obama's speech after the last financial collapse of 2008, and I keep trying to find a precise date for the collapse, so I'm having trouble finding it. I guess there was a 777 Dow Jones point drop, and I wasn't studying numbers then, so that just went right over my head. But I was watching a video about this, and I noticed that he used the word crisis so many times, and I'd like to find this video, except for I really don't want to waste my time, but I bet you he said crisis probably a specific amount of times, and I'm going to guess, if I had to guess, I would say it was maybe 23 times. But so I looked up the word crisis, and because it caught my eye, because it has ISIS in it, see? And we have ISIS in Washington, D.C., and the CR is a 3 and an 18, which is a 21, and then each is an 18. I mean a 28. So, you know, I have been adding these things together and looking for the numbers, and that's how this gematria is done. But I'm going to start looking at this in terms of multiplying, and I did multiply the 28 and the 28, and my notes are out of my reach right now. But I think that I have been seeing that number, and I didn't know what to think of it, and it could be, you know, is squared. Now that I'm learning to see these things differently, so I'm going to have to go and study that number and see if I can remember where I've seen it before, or at least be able to recognize it when it comes up again. So here we have a 9 and an 11 right here. And here we have 2 6s and also a 64, which is 2 8s. So 2 6s and 2 8s. Yeah, and I think that's what is there. And then here is a 77. Now we just saw the 77 in 2 different places having to do with the Georgia Guidestones too. So we need to be aware of this number as they see it as a way, the way they use it in their humiliation ceremonies of the Freemasons. So probably they're creating a crisis in the life of the Freemason, and it has to do with this number. And I've talked about it, this being the divergent 7. 7's going either way. And it's also the sign of Isis. Has a lot of different applications. It seems like it's a choice or a decision point. But I wanted to show you just so that we're aware, in case we hear these numbers coming up, what their associations are. In the Jewish gematria, the one that I see here is Easter, language in the beginning. I think that's it for that one. Let's go down to the English. This is important. Yeah, so Christ. I think that's very important to know that shares gematria with the word crisis. Power, stars, mouth. That's kind of strange. Green man. This is oh yeah, I remember there's a CERN reference in down farther in one of these, and I don't know which one it is. Yeah, that one I don't like to think about. Let me just make sure this one didn't have it. The green man is a CERN reference. Cernunos. Okay. I'm going to say it wasn't on this one. All right, well, also, so then later on, so I saw there's a still in one of these videos by Renee M, and she's taking the video from other people, but this picture has the word foreclosure in it and these phrases, but it also has, as they point out, a 239, a 540, and a 1499. So this would be almost a 239 gate, because the 14 plus the 9 over here is a 23. So it's kind of like it's kind of like a 923 gate and a 9 gate, because then there's another 9 over here on the outside and this 9. So I haven't really seen them do numbers like that before, but what I did is I looked up the word foreclosure so that we could understand what's going on with this word. And there's the 22 that we've talked about before. But I wanted to show you these. So he's running for president. Leylines. Leylines has a gateway gematria besides being related to foreclosure. That's it for the Jewish. Let's go down to the English, because I thought this was important. So foreclosure shares gematria with Washington, D.C. and the Gematria Bible. That's probably how they, got these things to match. And then in the beginning matches that. Really interesting that in the beginning matches Washington, D.C. and the Eye of Horus matches foreclosure. Saddam Hussein matches foreclosure. Gematrix.org, which is this website that we're on right now, mind control matches foreclosure. A lot of people in Washington, D.C. are mind controlled. The Gematria Web, Anonymous, Hollow Earth, the Great Pyramid, Isis Ra Elohim. I haven't really heard that statement together before. Tomorrow, there's a song called Tomorrow. And it's funny because we heard that song recently, actually, and I remember thinking, now that I know, when you repeat a word, when you repeat it a lot, and especially if it's at the top or it's the punch of a sentence, it's the emphasis, then you want to go and look and see what it is. And this would match Washington, D.C., all of these, Baphomet, Saddam Hussein, Newt Gingrich, the new Pindar. I don't know if you know what a Pindar is. It's a dragon penis, and so the very top of the Illuminati's, they have their top person is called a Pindar. Kind of strange, but they're strange people, so not too surprising. All right, I think that I might have shown you all the important things on this one. Oh, Dead Sea Scrolls. That's important too, that matches all of these other things. It's kind of weird that butterflies are in there. All right, so later on in this video, it talks about the One World ceremony where he signs the pillar that they put at the top of the Freedom Tower. And so I looked up One World, and it has the way in it, plus the 11, and then it has these numbers that we've been talking about, the 9-6, and it's a 9-6 mirror. So I'm starting to think that this 9-6 is pretty important, because this is a really important phrase for these guys. And then we've seen this number again and again in Philadelphia. So I think that's important to realize. President-elect Barack, so that matches One World in the Jewish gematria. President-elect Barack Hussein Obama. I don't know if that's perfectly spelled, but it looks pretty good. All right. Down here, the English and the simple matches Metatron, and I'm still trying to figure out more about Metatron. They talk about Metatron in the Key of Enoch. It's just baffling, all of this. Prophecy, infinity. So this One World matches all this. Fox News. That can't be a coincidence, right? Tea Party, Columbus, soulmate, the alphabet key, nuclear bomb. So I hope that this date, so we saw the 233 in the market numbers. We've been seeing this number a lot everywhere, and we saw this number in Philadelphia a lot, and other places too, but it really stood out in Philadelphia. So I hope that they are not thinking about this association. Heil Hitler. Nefertiti. That's also the 118 number. Okay. All right. That's enough of a sampling of that one. So he writes, on the Freedom Tower, he writes, we remember, we rebuild, we come back stronger. Something, yeah, there it is. So some people have taken that to be the 666 because the W is a 6 in Hebrew. And maybe that is what they mean. Just want to take a look at the numbers here. Again, we have this 66, and I think this matched. See, now I have to go back and think, which did this match? Was it Joe Biden? I don't remember. Somewhere we just did a 66. But in the Jewish gematria, it matches Bieber, I guess. And then down here, it matches George Bush, the Greys, Aquarius, 20, Happiness, Holy Grail, the Occult, the Messiah, Windows. So you can see that these are really central concepts. Quantum, I've been talking a lot about quantum. I think I have the right interpretation. I hope I do. I don't know. This is Barry Sotero's original last name. Heaven's Gates. So that matches. We remember, it's interesting that he would use something that matches his own original last name on that. We rebuild. It has the 2 9s in it. I'm just going to, Mayan prophecy. Did I miss it? Sorry. The more people that use this, the longer it gets. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I scrolled to the bottom of this one. So this is we rebuild. I think Jupiter is an important association to be aware of, and rapture is also important to be aware of this. And this is also, you can see here that this is a 99 in the English, it also is a 99. That's kind of how the 9s work. Oh, I was looking at this. This is a 7-6, isn't it? In the Jewish gematria. This matches Michelle Obama, Albert Pike, Ascension. Interesting that Ascension and Rapture match, isn't it? Is that interesting? Okay. And we come back stronger. All right. It's kind of a 98 in there. Law of Attraction matches we come back stronger. Yeah, I don't think there was tons down. Oh, there was the CERN Super Collider. I did want to be aware of that. And that would be a 9-7 in the Jewish gematria. And it could be a 9-21 or a 9-3. There could be a September date here or a November date. You know, it's hard to know. I just want to point your attention to what might be encoded in these numbers having to do with this, since we see that there has been a date correlation in other numbers. And here's the 98 again. I think it's too late to have a 9. No, tomorrow. So tomorrow is it? Yeah, tomorrow is a 9. Tomorrow is an 8-9. I don't think they're going to do anything else in August. I don't know, but tomorrow is an 8-9. So the way we've seen how they've been using these dates, it's just kind of good to be aware of these things. Not that you can do anything, but for me, it does help me. I guess it helps me manage the stress just to try. I feel like I understand better, the more codes I understand, and then I am excited, and I do enjoy decoding, so I guess it helps me manage some of the news that I become aware of. I used to just ignore the news completely, and that's a good way to live too. Mostly you just don't want to get bummed out. All right, so in this video that Renee just put up, there's some Jonathan Kleck segments in here, and I hadn't heard this before, that he considers Philadelphia to be the bride of Christ. And I'm not a Bible scholar, so I don't know, but if he considers it to be the bride of Christ, I'm interested, because I'm interested in the numbers and everything that has to do with Philadelphia, and I'm also a little worried because we just saw them kill the bride of Christ today. I mean, is it already? Yeah, it was today. So by the time, it'll be yesterday by the time this video comes up, because I'm doing this at night. So a little bit worried there about Philadelphia, and I'm in the East Coast. I don't know how much these guys are going to get away with, or how much they think what they're gonna do. I do agree with his idea about that the Twin Towers represent the humans and the fallen Nephilim mixing their DNA. I think they do want to mix their DNA with ours. I think they feel like they can't ascend with their own DNA, and that's why they need our DNA to ascend with. And I'm not sure what the overall plan is. I don't know if they're going to get away with it or not, but there's a lot of talk about a new race being born here, and I'm not sure that I like that idea. I kind of like humans being humans, and that we would just ascend as humans and leave these guys to work this out on this plane. But I do agree with his idea about the twin, and I hadn't thought of. I just watched this again, and I think either I had forgotten that, yes, if these are chromosomes, if the Twin Towers were chromosomes, sets of chromosomes, that each one would be a set of 23. So that is important to remember when we look at twin symbolism. I think there was some twin symbolism in the journalist shooting today. So when you think about twins, you want to think about that. And with the number 23, I think I let that slip out of my mind. I'm going to try to remember that. Okay, all right. Well, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys are having a good day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.